We are eating more and weighing less today. I am so happy to be here. Hi! It's 12:30 on a Thursday, so we are here together because it is time for your Ounce of Prevention Live. This is where we discuss all things maintenance, and today we are talking about one of the absolute key concepts of maintenance. It's amazing, and I learned the words for it recently, but I always knew about this concept, so here it is. You know very well, I'm sure, the idea of energy balance, which is calories in, calories out. The upgraded and makes much more sense to me way of thinking about it is energy flux. And energy flux is how many calories are coming in and how many calories are going out. The reason why that's important is because 1,000 in, 1,000 out isn't as good for your body as 3,000 in and 3,000 out. Now, think about that. That puts all our diet mentality off on its head, right? Because when we lose weight, we do reduce our calories. That is just how it has to happen, right? You always want to have fewer calories in than going out when you want to lose weight. When we're maintaining weight, we keep it the same. But when you're losing weight, you're decreasing. A lot of times what people do is then they're dieting, and when they want to maintain or lose more, they eat less and less and less. And that's when you start getting into the problems with the hormones fighting you. That whole idea of the starvation where your body's protecting you, it does. It starts protecting you because it doesn't want less and less. It wants more, and it can have more if your output is more. So not only just on a this plus this equals this level, but it functions better. And that's what's the most important. So one of my favorite things to think about in terms of this is Amish. So, Amish are a group of people who don't use mechanical transportation and like electricity and stuff. And so they're doing everything the way we used to do it hundreds of years ago. So they're moving their bodies a ton. They walk miles to go into town. They are farming a lot. So their average, a lot of the men's average is around 18,000 steps a day. So 10,000 was like the holy grail of all the people, and it's hard for people who don't work in a farm, or at least the way the Amish do, because even now if you work on a farm, there's tractors and all that sort of machinery. But my point being is that for sedentary people, it's hard to get to 10,000 steps. They are regularly doing 18,000 steps. And that's just the steps. That doesn't include the lifting and the moving and the whatever in terms of getting steps number. So Amish have less obesity in their community, and they eat 3 meals a day. There's not really snacks because they just eat the meal. Their meals are major meals. They are not like a little bit of cottage cheese. They eat a lot, and it fuels their activity. And that's what we want for maintenance. We want the calories to be used. When they're used, they're not stored, belly fat. Literally, belly fat is where fat is stored, and that's why it's so bad for your liver. It's literally encasing the liver in fat when you have that. So you don't have that because the energy is being used. It does not need to be stored. Therefore, your hormones are efficiently used. That's why this idea of flux is so helpful for your body. It actually helps insulin resistance, meaning you don't have as many problems. You're protected against insulin resistance when you're using the energy that you have. And what I mean by energy that you have is what you put in your mouth. So one of the key things about maintainers, they've done there's not a lot of them, but there's some good big studies on maintainers now. They exercise every day, about at least an hour or right around an hour. They're not sweating buckets, but they're moving their body every day. The reason they do that is so they can eat more, right? They're maintaining, they're not losing, but that exercise allows them to eat a good amount of food. So it's the opposite of trying to eat less and less and less. It's wanting to be able to eat more, and the way you do that is you move your body. Now, of course, here's the benefit. There's a million benefits to moving your body every day. Not just your weight. Of course, weight's what we talk about here, but your heart, Now your metabolism is better because you're building and sustaining muscle. Your mood and any depression is increased. Like, exercise is amazing, but now with this idea of energy flux, of using the energy that you consume, it is so important and makes so much sense for maintenance. So when people are losing weight, I don't usually recommend starting a big exercise regime because there's a lot of work having to do with changing the way you're eating. In maintenance, however, once you get into a good groove, adding exercise is vital to help you be able to eat an amount of food that usually is comfortable for your body. If you're fine with your food the way it is, that's okay. I'd still recommend exercise because as a physician, I have to recommend it because it's so good for so many parts of your body. But it allows you to eat more. And we want you to be able to have that flexibility. Sometimes you're going to want to go out. Those meals are more expensive in terms of calories. There'll be a birthday. This allows you to not be so strict and regimented, and it's like a win-win-win. So I love the idea of energy flux. High energy flux is what we want. We want a bunch of calories in and a bunch of calories out. So obviously we want a bunch of calories in and no calories out. If you're having a bunch of calories in, we want a bunch of calories out. And walking is the best. It does not if you love Peloton, more power to you. But it doesn't have to be that. It really can be walking and walking outside. So that is what I would recommend for maintenance. This idea of energy flux is the secret to maintenance. It's how you have an increase in your metabolism, sustaining your muscle. It's how you balance your hormones, meaning you're using your insulin and you are not storing fat so you don't have belly fat. You're also eating at it more so that you are having your hunger hormones are regulated better. And you are, what's the last one? Oh, you're just able to eat more, right? And when you're eating more, your body's not fighting you to try to hold on to fat because it's like, oh, we're getting food and we're using it. Great. This works out really well. So energy flux is my new favorite thing. It's not new, but the way to speak about it is. And we're talking about it a lot, but for maintenance, it's the key. So if you've lost your weight and you're frustrated because you're eating so little, add in the exercise. It makes all the difference in the world. And when you get that as a habit in there, so much gets better. The mood, your health, and your way of life with eating. That's what I got for you today, people. I love talking about energy flux, anything. If you have any questions, you just leave them. Otherwise, I will see you next week, but I am sending you love and high energy flux. Bye.